Hey guys, so I haven't really said much about the Micah Miller case lately, but I wanted to share this new information that is just coming out this week regarding it in case you didn't know. Although I'm quite sure most everybody who knows anything about this case knows what's going on, but I do want to share it for people who don't. This whole case is wild. And yes, I'm going to call this that I'm about to tell you about a case because investigators and law enforcement are indeed looking into it. So it would be a case. Have y'all heard about the fraudulent TikTok fundraiser? You know, the fundraiser where everybody was claiming justice for Micah and all the proceeds were supposed to go to Micah's family? Yeah, that fundraiser. Well, if you followed so-called Mess or Casey or Cassie or whatever her name is, you would probably remember these fundraisers. Remember Cassie again? She goes by the name so-called Mess. She had this big group with moderators and leaders. She claimed she was autistic, whatever. She made quite a big deal about all these fundraisers. She would hold auctions and whatnot on her lives. Even Micah's own father, Michael Francis, played guitar on one of her live streams on TikTok. Well, guess what? The money that was raised, and it was quite a bit, never made it to her family. A few details have come out, and this is all according to Fitz News, which is a local news source in South Carolina. Y'all won't believe all of this. So the money that was raised, instead of going to the family, it was allegedly stolen by a person in the so-called Mess squad that was overseeing the fundraisers. It was said that of an estimated $15,000 that was raised for the Francis family, only $180 went to them. Do y'all understand this? The main people who were screaming justice for Micah stole money in Micah's name. Or allegedly just one person. So evidently, a woman by the name of Sue Nelson from Georgia has allegedly admitted to taking all the money and using it for personal use. She allegedly admitted to this during an online chat that was held earlier this week. Sue allegedly stated that she used the money for her own personal situation and that she is here to own up to her mistakes. Sue was the one of the ones who acted as a leader type person of the group. Moderator. It was said that in live sessions this week, Sue did confess to taking the money. To begin with, she said it was due to financial struggles and the upcoming foreclosure of her home, and those were the reasons she allegedly stole. However, and listen to this, she later admitted that she stole it to use the money for sex workers and alcohol. Y'all, I want y'all to think about that. $15,000 in a matter of what, like 2 months of fundraising? That's a lot of booze and sexy time is all I've got to say. 15 grand. Sue also allegedly stated that she has an issue and is seeking treatment and that she will sell her house this week for cash to compensate for the family what they earned and to the donors for their losses. Reportedly, her house is scheduled to be sold at an auction on November 5th of this year, and that's according to property records that Fitz News saw. It was also reported that Sue is the owner of Sweet Grace Marketing, but allegedly the business stopped operating in September for failing to satisfy annual registration requirements. Now let's talk about what Cassie has said. Casey. Sorry. I genuinely have always called her Cassie because that's the spelling of her name, my bad. Now, she has taken no responsibility whatsoever, even though this was all done on her page, on her panel, on her lives, on her platform. She refuses to accept any responsibility. And, okay, that's fine, if it's true. She then claimed that all the fundraising activities that group had was all Sue's idea, and all of the money collected went to her account. However, there are some text messages where Cassie has allegedly hinted at talking about money and where it was going. She stated that every single thing that was done as far as fundraising went only to Sue's accounts, and Sue allegedly agreed to that. Sue then allegedly said that the so-called Mess crew had nothing to do with it. Now, let me just say this, guys. I have done many fundraisers, whether it was for my cheerleaders when I was a cheer coach, or whether it was raising money for cancer research when I was Relay for Life sponsor. And money or checks, any type of money, never went just through my hands. You have the bookkeeper, and then the bookkeeper sends it off to somebody. It's always more than one person that knows about finances. So I want to say this. Cassie, you claiming you had nothing to do with this. Okay. However, you were indeed the leader of that platform it was held on, despite what you say. You were all about these fundraisers and justice for Micah and whatnot when everything was going well and when you looked great for having fundraisers on your page. Now it's coming out that you really didn't have anything at all to do with them. You were all for it at first. Let's get the family involved. I have connections to the family. And now you're acting as though none of it had anything to do with you. You sure were taking credit for a lot of it and assuming responsibility when things look good on your end. Why would only one single person out of several people involved be involved with money? You should definitely have more than one person overseeing money and finances so that no situations like this will happen, so that no questions will be asked. Cassie also claimed that she didn't become aware of the theft until last week when some of the group leaders asked Sue about it. And what is funny is, to begin with, Cassie and those group moderators defended Sue. Cassie then claimed that every time she would reach out to Sue, she would get lies from her about situations and that she believed her, and she eventually apologized for defending Sue. But maybe you should 100% know before you hardcore defend somebody. Reportedly, when the group questioned Sue about the funds, she went so far as to forge a fake letter saying it was from her accountant and saying that a check had been sent to the Francis family. However, the date of the correspondence was not correct, and it was then that moderators asked for clarification and Sue allegedly confessed. So now the Francis family has spoken up about this. I'm not going to read this word for word. I'm going to minimize myself and let y'all read it. Okay. So this is the first part of what the Francis family said. This is the second part of it. Y'all just pause and read. It's a lot. This is the third part, and then there's one more. Pause and read. Here's the last one. Did you notice where they said that Cassie allegedly said that they were not entitled to the money or to know about the money? Well, absolutely they are. Your group, so-called mess, was raising money in Micah's name, and that's what people thought their money was going towards. She has since addressed that text message and stated that she didn't mean it the way it sounded. Well, exactly how did you mean it, Cassie? At some point, you got to take accountability. Just admit it, own up, and apologize. It looks so much better. The family has asked anybody who donated the money to the auctions or who, didn't get their items from the Etsy shop or whatnot to please make a report for theft of money and goods. And you can get on that link that's posted right there. Now, let me say this. Rest assured, it is all going to come out in the wash. If Sue was the only one that had anything to do with the money, it'll be known. It'll be proven. Authorities will absolutely be able to figure that out. Remember, deleted text messages, phone calls, any of that's never really deleted on your phone. Authorities can pull all that back up. And let me just say this too. If my name was associated or as being like the leader of a fundraiser, you are damn right I'd be making sure how much we were making. I'd be excited to know too. Did we have a good night tonight? How many thousand did we make? Or how many hundred? I'd want to know. Did you not ever wonder how much money was being raised, Cassie, or how or when it was going to get to the family? This is just my personal opinion, and if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words later. I do believe much more will be coming out regarding this. To the Micah Miller family, I'm so sorry you were all disrespected like this. It's truly disgusting that they were the ones who were yelling justice for Micah the loudest. But it is clear it was never about justice for Micah to some of them. Instead, it was more about, let me do this on my platform for views, followers, and clout. Or let me keep people's money, people's hard-earned money. Oh, and in Micah's name. You should absolutely be ashamed, and no, Sue, you are not the only one I'm talking about. It would be different, maybe, if it was just a couple $100 raised, but y'all, this was $15,000. So are you sure you're the only one that knows anything about any of this? No other money transfers, no discussions about money were ever had, none of that? We will see soon enough. As I said, it will all come out in the wash.